Hey guys, what's going on? Megan here. There's 7 levels of protein sources if your goal is to maximize testosterone levels naturally. We're going to go from the lowest level all the way to the top, which is obviously the best of the best. You want most of your refrigerator and your grocery list to be comprised of the ones at the top. All right, let's get started. Let's start with egg whites. That's going to be at level 1, right? And again, the criteria I'm using is there's just 3 criteria. Number 1 is nutrient density, so that's micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, gut support, all the cute stuff. Second thing is obviously, protein content, protein quality, making sure they have all the amino acids, making sure they're high in leucine, which is obviously one of the most important ones. And then the third one is obviously healthy fats, right? And believe it or not, that includes cholesterol and the king of healthy fats, which is omega-3s, right? So based on that, egg whites are only at level 1. Next, we're going to move on to level 2. Yes, by the way, that's the only item at level 1. And I don't know why it's so overhyped, guys. Egg whites have nothing but protein. That's it, right? Very low in nutrients, and obviously very low in fats. So, again, if you're on roids, that's a great source because the only thing you need is protein at this point. But if you're natural, try to minimize your egg white consumption. Unless, obviously, you're looking for a way to, complete let's say you're looking at your macros for the day and you need like 20 grams of protein, but you don't want to go over carbs and fats, then yeah, great. You could throw in some egg whites. But for testosterone optimization, I would stay away. Very, very low nutrients. All right, let's go on to level 2. Level 2 is going to shock a lot of you guys, but that's most protein powders. Yes, most whey, casein protein powders are only at level 2. They're not high in vitamins and minerals. They have some, but they're not high. They're processed to shit. And obviously, they're very low in healthy fats, right? So that's going to be level 2. And believe it or not, that concludes it with level 2, right? So I'm actually being generous today. Well, level 3, and it's going to shock a lot of guys. Where's this motherfucker? Beef jerky. Yes, you heard it right. Beef jerky. And the only reason why it's not higher is because it's processed to shit and it has so much sodium. And you guys know your potassium to sodium ratio has to be high. And most people actually have a negative sodium to potassium ratio, meaning you have more sodium than potassium, which is terrible for your health, by the way. And you do not want to make beef jerky one of your top protein sources. It has so much sodium. It tastes good as fuck, though. But yeah, it would have went higher if it wasn't for that, and obviously the fact that it's super processed. So that's going to be at level 3. And unfortunately, I have to put my good buddy here as well. Bacon, same reason, right? Bacon would be a lot higher if it wasn't so processed and didn't have so much sodium. And again, sodium is not bad. It's just we eat so much sodium already that this just pushes us over the edge. We eat too much sodium and we don't eat enough potassium. So foods that are very, very high in sodium are gonna get downranked. Next, still at level 3, we have Greek yogurt. Where's this motherfucker? Yeah, there it is. And believe it or not, even though it's so overhyped, the only thing Greek yogurt has going for it is the protein, and obviously, depending on whether it's pasteurized or not, it might have some gut-friendly probiotics. But other than that, I feel like Greek yogurt is very overhyped. It's good if you're trying to lose weight, but as far as maximizing testosterone, it's not high in a lot of nutrients that are almost mandatory for that goal. And we have another one for level 3, and I know this is going to be a controversial one, but most plant protein sources go at level 3. Now, again, I'm putting all of them in one category, so I'm looking at the average, because some are obviously better than others, but the reason why they don't rank higher is because most plant protein sources are not complete protein sources that do not have all the essential amino acids, apart from some exceptions, like I think quinoa and soy and stuff like that, believe it or not. But I'm not going to put it higher because it does not have a lot of bioavailable nutrients. Again, plant proteins have micronutrients, but they're not as bioavailable for the most part. And obviously, they also don't have a lot of omega-3s, and healthy fats. So that's why I'm going to put most plant protein sources at level 3. They're not lower because, like I said, the good ones bring the average up, and they're not higher because the bad ones, sure enough, bring the average down. All right, and I think, let's see, let me double check. Yeah, that's it for level 3. Now, let's move on to by the way, if you guys are eating most of the foods here, you're already in trouble, right? Obviously, you could eat some here and there, but don't make them the majority of your diet. Next, we're looking at level 4. Believe it or not, level 4 is like the average motherfuckers, right? So you got stuff like rotisserie chicken, right? As overhyped as chicken is, it's only at level 4. And the only reason why it's even higher than these guys is because it has a decent amount of vitamins and minerals. Not a lot, but decent amount. Obviously, it's a complete protein source. It has all 9 essential amino acids, but it's not going to go higher because not only it doesn't rank high on those two things I mentioned, but it does not have a lot of healthy fats, right? And I'm also going to put, the fuck is this? Yeah, chicken breast also goes here. Chicken thighs also goes at level 4. Let's see. What's another? Where's the fucking turkey? I'm pretty sure I had turkey. There it is. Turkey is also gonna go at level 4. Slightly more nutrients than chicken, but it's not a huge difference. And I think that wraps it up with level 4. Let me double check. Look at my pictures here. Yep. Now let's move on to level 5. This is where things start to get interesting. Believe it or not, tilapia goes in level 5. I know I shit on tilapia a lot, but the reason why it goes in level 5 is because, one, you do have your, complete protein. 2, it has decent amount of vitamins and minerals. Not a lot, but good, but a decent amount. And most importantly, it has more healthy fats than chicken. It has omega-3s. You guys, any food that is high in omega-3s is already going to get at least, 10 to 20% increase in all of my rankings, right? Because omega-3s are so underrated, not just for testosterone, but for health and longevity in general. Let's see what else goes in level 5. We have shrimp. Shrimps. By the way, what the fuck is what's the plural for shrimp? I'm pretty sure it's not shrimps. It just sounds funny saying it. I might have to look that bitch up. Never heard somebody. I don't think shrimp is plural ends with an S. Does it, motherfuckers? Comment below. It's crazy how I just realized that this was an issue this late in my life. But anyway, so shrimp is gonna go to level 5 again. Good protein source, and it obviously has most seafood is gonna be higher in omega-3s on average, than land protein sources. So shrimp is gonna go up there. Shrimp is very underrated, and it also tastes good as fuck. Come on, guys. What else? We have tuna. Again, I crap on tuna a lot, but for this specific tier list, it's gonna go higher. Mainly because of the criteria that I'm using in this tier list, right? Every tier list I make has different criteria, right? This one, it's going to go higher because I got to be objective, right? Obviously, it has a good amount of amino acids, right? It's a good complete protein source. Has a small but decent amount of vitamins and minerals. And most importantly, especially for this list, it has more healthy fats than chicken, right? I'm going to use chicken as like the fucking base, right? That everything's going to be compared to, simply because it's so overhyped and everybody eats it. Chicken does taste good, though. Does taste good. Sucks that some of the foods that are, most nutrient dense don't taste as good, right? But the ones that are void of nutrients taste amazing. Let's see where we are. Okay, so level 5, cottage cheese. I'm actually gonna put cottage cheese up here at level 5. Yep, I know it's it's a little shocking, but the reason I'm gonna put it higher is because again, the nutrient density relative to the ones below. Let's see. Actually, yeah. Okay. Now, what do we have here? What's missing? I'm missing something here. Did I do cheese? Yep, there it is. There goes cheese. Yep, believe it or not, I'm going to put cheese at level 5, right? And the reason why I'm putting this at level 5 is because I'm referring to cheese that actually has live culture, cheese that has probiotics, right? Not something that's ultra processed. That one is going to go at level 5. And again, obviously, the reason is simple, right? Gut health is extremely important. And on top of the fact that, cheese also has a lot of other nutrients. It also has vitamin K2, depending on if you're taking hard cheeses or not. And vitamin K2 is so hard to get in your average, everyday foods. Not to mention that, again, it's cheese. It tastes so good, has decent amount of healthy fats, and all the good stuff. And is that it for level 5? Yeah, I think that's it for level 5. All right, let's move on to level 6. This is where things get interesting. Ground beef. I'm gonna put ground beef at level 6. Reason I'm putting beef that high. In fact, I'm also gonna put I'm also gonna put steak up there. Yeah, right. Ground beef, steak, same thing. I'm gonna put at level 6 because very, very high in amino acids, all of the essential motherfuckers as well. Obviously, it has a good amount of cholesterol, which I know people have been telling you your whole life that cholesterol is bad. That's an oversimplification. Cholesterol is good, depending on the context. Obviously, red meat has a ton of vitamins and minerals, and red meat also has other nutrients that are hard to find elsewhere, such as creatine and carnosine, and especially carnitine. Carnitine is very, very hard to get in other foods. So red meat has to go up there. Even though it's not high in omega-3s, it compensates by being high in so many other nutrients. Next up there, we're also going to put egg yolk. Yeah, egg yolk needs no introduction. Very high in healthy fats, very high in vitamins, very high in minerals, and obviously high in protein as well. Next, I'm also going to put milk. Yes, motherfuckers, believe it or not, milk is a level 6 protein. Again, not only it's high in amino acids, high in vitamins and minerals, but it's also great for hydration. Remember, milk has a higher hydration index than water. I say that over and over again, meaning it will hydrate you better than water, obviously because it has more electrolytes than water. So yeah, milk is just fucking amazing. The only downside is obviously some people are lactose intolerant. In that case, just take lactate, guys. That's why we invented technology and supplements, right? So fucking, subdue nature. So subdue the things that, we had no control over back in the hunter-gatherer days, right? Back in the days, you drink milk, you lactose intolerant, you fucked. Today, pop a lactate pill. Done. Keep it moving. All right. What else we got? We still at level 6. I'm going to put, it's going to shock a lot of you guys. Where is it? Pork chops. Yes. Crucify me, my Muslim friends. I don't give a fuck. Pork is amazing. High in nutrient density. Very high in vitamin B1. Which, believe it or not, a lot of guys are deficient in vitamin B1, thiamine. And it's very hard to get vitamin B1, by the way. Pork is high in that. Obviously, great source of protein. And obviously, it has a decent amount of healthy fats. Not a lot of omega-3s, which is why it's not going to go higher. Next, we also have lobster. I'm going to put, what was his name? Was it Crawdon? I think so. So lobster is going to be level 6. Very underrated. Obviously, it's expensive as shit. So most of you guys probably going to go your whole life without eating it. And I'm cheap as shit, so I'm probably not going to eat lobster anytime soon. It is so fucking expensive. But, not only it tastes good, it's one of the few foods on the planet that tastes good and is also high in nutrients, right? Most foods that are high in nutrients taste like ass. But it's high in nutrients, right? And it has omega-3s, a decent amount of omega-3s, which is going to bring it at the very top of the list. Next, we have, let's see, we did lobster, we did red meat. Oh, yeah, no, red meat right here. Right. By the way, I just put red meat, right? Because that includes lamb, that includes goat, kangaroo, horse, not niggas, right? We don't eat humans, but most animals, are gonna go in here, right? Most animals that obviously fall under red meat. So similar to steak, same category, high in nutrients, high in creatine, obviously complete protein, all amino acids, and obviously a good amount of cholesterol and saturated fat. Let's see. We did ground beef. We did steak. I'm looking at my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm missing something that should be up there. There it is. Eggs obviously go on level 6 for the same reason as I mentioned earlier. Very high in healthy fats, very high in vitamins, very high in minerals, and a complete protein. And, it's another exception to the rule, right? Where it actually tastes good. And that will conclude it for level 6. Now let's go to the final level, motherfuckers. The final level, level 7. I'm gonna go fast because we're pretty much at the end. We have sardines. Believe it or not, sardines are level 7. Very high in protein, very high in vitamins, very high in minerals, and very high in healthy fats, including omega-3. Next, we have oysters. Oh my God. I'm about to nut category for the OGs out there. Super high in vitamins, super high in minerals, super high in omega-3s. Obviously, it's a protein source. Checks all the boxes for maximizing testosterone. Next, we have liver, the GOAT, the fucking GOAT. This is the Michael Jordan. This is the Tom Brady. This is the Tiger Woods. This is the Usain Bolt. This is the freaking Mighty Mouse, John Jones, fucking George St. Pierre of protein sources. Liver, high in vitamins, check. High in minerals, check. High in protein, obviously complete protein, check. And it has healthy fats, including cholesterol. Next, we have salmon. Salmon is a close contender up there with liver for one of the GOAT foods of all time. High in vitamins, extremely high in minerals, extremely high in omega-3s, and obviously very high in amino acids as well. Obviously, all these foods come with downsides, such as the whole mercury risk, whatever, but I get into that in other videos. Next, caviar. Believe it or not, caviar is the level 7 protein source. Very high in vitamins, minerals, a lot more than steak, believe it or not. And obviously high in omega-3s as well. Next, we have mussels, another underrated food, very underrated. Tastes very good, so it's an exception to the rule. And sure enough, it checks all of the boxes I mentioned: high in vitamins, high in minerals, high in omega-3s, obviously high in protein. And last but not least, we have, boom, organ meats. Most organ meats, right? Most organ meats, it's very similar to liver, are going to rank level 7 because they check all the boxes. All right, guys, join the SKOOL community. It's the best community for increasing testosterone naturally. You're going to get a lot of feedback, a lot of support there, a lot of courses, a lot of posts, a lot of studies. And obviously, I do, Q&A frequently. So if you're there, chances are your questions are going to get answered. All right, join while the price is still cheap. I'm out.